What is up, YouTube? My name's David Lee, and you're watching AsianWithCards. And we got, what's your name?
Tony Wynn, bro.
Tony Wynn.
Yes,
awesome. And what deck is this?
I've got Diva Hero today.
Diva Hero. Is this some inspiration to some certain player?
It is, a true hero.
A true hero, Cairo.
Yep.
Awesome.
So when I got back into it 8 months ago, I started watching his content, and I picked up on it, and I fell in love with the deck, and I don't want to put it down ever.
Awesome.
So shout out to True Hero for that.
Awesome. Alrighty, well, let's get started.
Alright, so to go simple, I've got my water lineup. It's very, very straightforward, like most Diva Heroes. I go 5, 1 Treeborn, 1 Gilman, 3 Divas. Nothing more, nothing less. We're trying to go for OTKs.
How often do you draw the Gilman?
A lot.
A lot?
He is the Wonder Boy. Despite playing 1, Wonder Boy shows up all the time in the worst situations, man. Always. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
It's your best friend.
My dark lineup is so that we can run that nice dark engine in there. Along with that, I got the heroes. And then, of course, the dark stuff.
Some bougie stuff right here.
Bougie stuff there. And then, you want to run through your power darks. These are kind of your power darks right here. Just that set there is just...
One Greffer.
I think 1 Greffer gives you that chance for OTKs. It gives you another Rota target. It makes your kind of 2 Maui hands work a little better by dumping, stacking with Plague Spreader. But
and no Knights.
No Knight. I don't like Knight. I've seen a lot of people like Oscar Ruano recommending me to try Armageddon Knight, but I just didn't like Armageddon Knight because it kills off a chunk or a good bit of an OTK. You get Colossal Arm a lot easier with Dark Greffer. You get exposure to just getting your Malicious in the graveyard. And it kind of kickstart because you can then get your normal summon on a Deep Sea Diva. I want to get the Malicious engraved and normal summon the Diva the same turn typically.
Awesome.
And then of course, you got your Dark Arm Dragon there. The boss.
The big boss.
I only got to play him like 3 times this weekend, but the big boss.
3 times, that's it.
3 times, that's it. I didn't see him too often, but when I dropped him, he was very impactful.
Dad for game.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
One of the spell lineup, I think the best spell of all time, Miracle Fusion, man.
Always.
Free monster. You want to make absolute 0 with it. You try to dump, fill the grave, and it's a free beater, and that's kind of the deck just goes for game with free monsters. That's the overall goal with it there. You got your Future Fusion, a lot of 1-ofs in here, a lot of good 1-ofs. And then of course you got your Heavy, MST, and Mindcon. So along with the Miracles, those are the only spells I play. I try to make every spell card an impactful move. And I want it to count when I play that spell card. So the deck is very clunky and tight, so you want to fit what's important that's in there for you to go for game with usually.
Awesome.
And my trap lineup, I'm going with the classic just 10. This is kind of a combination of kind of a Oscar Ruano, True Hero kind of trap lineup. It's a double bottomless. These are the only doubles we play. This is amazing. Gets rid of your frog, get your Malicious in grave, you're digging for heroes to go to the grave. Sets up a lot of great plays in OTKs when you're trying to set up. And then this is just staple, the Edison staple. You want to be able to knock things out. Black Wings, anything that can kind of be in your way, 1500 or more. And then I play 6 1-ofs. I go out 1 Deep Prison, 1 Dust Shoot, 1 Return, 1 Mirror, 1 Solemn, 1 TT. I think they're all self-explanatory. The Deep Prison idea I got from Oscar Ruano down in SoCal. He told me that Deep Prison's good. You shouldn't keep it out. It's worth it. It tries to give you an extra turn or 2 so that you can go for the game push usually. And ever since I switched to that, I love it. I love the main deck Deep Prison. It makes my trap lineup just a little safer. And it's so unexpected usually to have the 1 Deep Prison. Yeah.
Awesome. And why only 1?
So I had issues where I was trying to find reasons to play 2, and with the deck being so heavy, kind of monsters and OTK, you're trying to go for push more. So you kind of have to know when and when not to take damage, when to use your traps. But kind of the true hero idea is you need to know when to push, and the goal of the deck is to kill, not to sit around and wait. So 2 seemed a little excessive. I would have more traps in my hand often than not, and not be able to OTK. So I was able to cut the Deep Prison, and then I played the Gold Star. So I cut the second Deep Prison, and I played the Gold Star, which I think this card just is monumental in early game sake when you need to fish for a kill card. Let's go into the side deck.
Yes.
Let's do the side deck. So my side deck is pretty classic Edison side deck. It just gets rid of all the answers to things that are problems in the format. I go the 1 DD Crow, 2 is excessive. I go Snowman and Sirocco for the Blackwing matchup. I did try 2 Snowman for a while. I switched to the Sirocco, and I can be a little more aggressive, and it pairs really well when I side in my deck dev. So it's another deck dev target when I side that in. And then the Dynas are just self-explanatory. It shuts down the mirror match, everything good of the format.
Awesome.
And then I play 4 spells: Super Poly, Vortex, Nobleman, and Soul Release. So I go through these because I feel like there's a lot of frogs and hero in the meta, so I always like to keep one on the side, and that is an impactful card. Can't stop it. It's just an impactful card. It's powerful, especially against the frog matchup or the mirror match. Or if you're even playing hero beat and you want to wipe their field and get yourself an F-Zero, that's doable. I go the Lightning Vortex play because I did not like dealing with Christia, Duplock, Vanity's Fiend, and along with why I didn't play like Compulse or anything to get rid of it, I like the Vortex because it kills it and I get the discard. So I typically side out 1 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to go into Vortex if I'm dealing with frogs or Christias or anything that kind of stuns me out a little bit. And then my worst matchup is Vayu Turbo typically. So I hate Raikou Hamster, and if I'm ever playing against them, that's always going in. And it's just an answer to kind of Raikou that you don't have to overextend, create a Stardust or create an F-Zero. It's just a quick way to get rid of one or all copies usually. And the Soul Release I have in here is going to be kind of for the meta that anything that plays around graveyard, plants, frogs, hero mirror match, anything that just synergizes in there. It's nice to go through and just rip 5 cards out their grave while they're kind of building up for their graveyard combo pieces.
Awesome.
And then my last, go 2 Dust Tornadoes, 2 Pullings, just back row destruction, roll oppression, destroys Diva Hero. So I tested Decree for a while. Dust Tornado seems to be the better answer for oppression. I get a little more versatility, and I can still play my traps and kind of work around the YU Turbo match and turn it into a grind game a little bit, which these saved my life. I've knocked out so many oppressions, so many back rows, you just go for kill shot. And typically I'll side out like 1 Wind Blast and 1 of something else to go in with those. And the last 2 are 1-ofs. The deck Devi crushes everything from mirror match, frogs, plants, the weird tiny little decks out there that you find that need floaters, recruiters. An early deck dev can kind of lock the game down if you have the right cards to secure, go for a push, set it up, and it's just an overall amazing card of the format, I think, if you have the darks to power it off.
Now, here's a question. True Hero is a believer in deck dev in the main. What's your thoughts on that?
So I've tried it in the main. It's not a bad answer, but sometimes I feel like when you're main decking it, you draw it and you feel like you have to commit to playing the card. And sometimes in Diva Hero, it's not always as simple as like, oh, I have a Caius out. Sometimes to fish for that dark, one of the easier plays is Diva into Gilman's Catastrophe. But sometimes you just have to waste so many cards to get it off, and sometimes it's impactful and sometimes it's not. So I feel like it's definitely a side deck card for me, and just based on the matchup. And then I go 1 Light Mirror. I don't like Christia. Light Sworn scare me, and the random decks that kind of float around out there kind of give me a hard time when you're playing decks like Light Sworn. It's a chase to the finish because it's 2 power combo decks. And then just Christia. Takes care of Christia, other things that sit around that kind of play with light monsters. But it's mainly for the Christias.
Awesome.
And then the extra deck, getting into that for you here. So we go 3 Ab-Zero. 1 Gaia for the your hero monsters, your feature fusion, your miracle fusion. So just those 4. Going into the synchros here, we play Armory Arm, Magical Android, Catastor, Rio, Goyo, and then we start getting to the higher levels here. We're gonna make 1 Black Rose. It's only 7. I hardly ever make it. It's really just an emergency play usually with the Diva Gilman and then another Diva play. And then going into the 8s here. Oh, there it is. Stardust. Thought Ruler. Best card.
Absolutely.
Colossal. And then I'm kind of an oddball with my last one. You kind of see some people play it and some people don't, but I think this card is cracked, man. I think it's too easy to make a 9 in this deck with a Stratos, a Greffer, plus a Gilman and a Diva. 9 comes up often on the board. We don't have Trish, but this is a really close Edison kind of format Trish, where you can clear 3 cards, off the board and kind of go for your push, your miracle for game. Usually a Mistworm and a Miracle is 5k. You can follow that up with usually another monster, another synchro, and it's kind of almost lethal. So I really like Miss Worm. I tested it for a while without it. I just love being able to make a 9 and go for that push because it's very unexpected too.
Now, what was your win-loss record, regardless of your team?
So I personally went 5-2.
5-2.
5-2. I had a loss to James Ark, and then I had a loss to a frog matchup. So James smoked me with YU Turbo in the last round. But despite that, my teammates pulled through for me, bro. Shout out Echo YGO, my teammate. He pulled through. My boy Jimmy pulled through, and then we were able to beat them in yesterday's last round and finishing fourth for top cut today.
And what were your chicken matchups?
My chicken matchups, man. So I played a lot of YU throughout the day. I believe I played a total of 5, and I only lost to 1, and it was James. And he drew amazing. Turn 1, he FTK'd me. Game 2, he just had the oppression, the solemns, and I just had no answers. I didn't see sideboard, and he's truly a good player. Well deserved on his end for spanking me. Definitely a good matchup for him too. But yeah, YU Turbo just gives this deck a really hard matchup, and the best thing you can kind of do is just outgas them or make them gas, and it's just a battle of the outgassing each other until all their YUs are gone, all your Divas are gone. But it's always an interesting matchup, and skill comes into play for sure in those matchups.
Awesome. Anyone else you want to thank?
I really want to thank just the entire San Diego Yu-Gi-Oh community for uplifting me the last 6 months, getting me back into the game after a decade, and all we do is win around SoCal, guys. So let's go.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.